Hello students, now we are going to do the revision for the chapter number 3. So that is, the name of the chapter is Safety Responsibility of Engineers, and the name of the course is Professional Ethics and Indian Constitution, which is there for the fourth semester Electronics and Communication and Electronic Instrumentation and Control Engineering, and the maximum hours allocated for this chapter is 5 marks, and the maximum marks you are going to get from this chapter is 15 marks. So myself Vijay Hutti, lecturer in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, SJPN Trust Polytechnic, Net Social. So let us start with the question number 1. So as I told already, so these questions are from the question bank. So in the syllabus they have mentioned, after every chapter they are given a list of questions, and here in the slides we have solved all the questions with answer, and even I have indicated the marks that can be allotted for the question. So the question may be asked for 5 marks or 10 marks, and even I have indicated a star there. So those star indicate the number of times the question is repeated in the semester and exam. So that means the more number of stars means the question is more important from the exam point of view. So let us start with the first question. So the question is, name the factors that influence the perception of risk. So this may be asked for 5 marks or 10 marks, and this question is repeated twice in the exam, semester end exam. So let us discuss one by one. First one is, following factors influence the perception of risk. First one is the probability of risk, and that is the statistical nature of occurrence of risk. Second, consequences of risk, that is the physical damage or death of people, property loss, or money loss. And third one is voluntariness, that is for thrill and amusement or under the compulsion, involuntariness. Fourth one is magnitude, so that is the number of people or extent of area involved. Fifth one is proximity, so that is the closeness of relationship with those affected. Sixth one is method of information dissemination on risk. And seventh one is job related, that is whether it is compulsion or volition. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the question number 2. So that is, list the factors that affect the risk acceptability. So this question may be asked for 5 marks. So let us discuss the answer. So following are the some of the important factors which affect risk acceptability. So first one is voluntariness or involuntariness of risk. Second, short term and long term consequences of risk. Third one, expected probability of risk. Fourth, reversible effects, that is something will seem less risky if the bad effects are ultimately reversible. Fifth one, threshold levels of risk. Sixth one is delayed effect and immediate effects of risk. Seventh, restricted access to knowledge on risk. Eighth, uncertain behavior of materials. Ninth, newer applications of absolute technologies. Tenth, the unexpected and unintended outcomes of products or project. So next we are going to discuss the question. So that is, name a few techniques to reduce risk, or name a few steps to reduce risk. So this question may be asked for 5 marks or 10, or most of the time it is asked for 5 marks, and this question is repeated twice in the exam. So we can use the following techniques to reduce risk in a process or a product. So first one is application of inherent safety concepts in the design. So that is in case of LPG cylinder, so it is provided with frame to protect the wall while handling. So as we know, the LPG cylinders, uh, even though they are what they are more useful for the women to cook the food, so that we have to take care while using the cylinders, right, how to operate it or how to use it. And we have to use some safety concepts in the design here. So that is the reason they are provided with frame, so in order to protect the wall. So that is one of the important part in the LPG cylinder wall. So that must be done. Second, use of redundancy principle in the instrument protection or design. So for example, you have to use a backup for computer power supply. So if you are using a computer and if there is no backup supply, that is if you are not using UPS, so suddenly what will happen if the current goes and if you are doing any some important work there, and if you are not saved the things, and as soon as the current goes, all your data, right, you are going to lose. So if there is a backup supply or if there is a UPS, so your computer will run even though there is failure, there is power failures, and without disturbing your work and without damaging any of your data. So that is the second point. Third one, periodical monitoring and testing of safety system to ensure reliability. Example, periodical testing for fire extinguishers. So uh, for example, we have taken here periodical testing of fire extinguishers. So fire extinguishers, they are what the things which we need when there is what a sudden fire. And if there is a fire and if you open a fire extinguisher and if it doesn't work, so what will happen, it is of no use here. So for that purpose what we have to do, we have to do proper maintenance. So there must be what periodical monitoring and testing. So every week or every 15 days, right, you have to go through the product, right, we have to monitor it. And if there is any there is a dirt, small particles will fall on the this fire extinguishers and they may block, right. So you have to take care of all this, and we have to do what periodical monitoring, and we have to test all the safety systems, so in order to ensure reliability, right. Next, fourth one is issue of operational manuals or training of the operating personnel, and regular audits are conducted to ensure that the procedures are understood, followed, and the systems are kept in good working conditions. So that means what? If you have purchased a machine for your organization or for the company, so it comes with the operational manual, right. Before using a machine, first you have to go through the operation manual thoroughly, uh, the way you do with your bike, new bike, or if you have purchased any new materials. So it comes with what the operation manuals. So they are going to give the how to handle the machines or how to handle the equipment. So first it is the duty to go through the manual properly. And if you have brought a new machine for your industry, and it is the duty to operate the machine by a skilled laborer. So right, someone who has well trained to handle the machine, right. It is should not be used by a normal person, right. Only skilled and a trained person is required to handle the machine. So that training of the operating personnel and regular audits are conducted to ensure that the procedures are understood, followed, and the systems are kept in good working conditions. And fifth one is development of well-designed evacuation plan and regular rehearsal or drills to ensure preparedness in the case of emergency. So these are what some of the steps or techniques we can take to reduce the risk. So next question is list the various aspects of collegiality. So the various aspects of collegiality are, first one is respect to the ideas and work of others. which results in support and cooperation from colleagues, and it is mutually beneficial. That is, for both it is beneficial. Second one is commitment to moral principles such as moral decisions, actions, goals of organization, and values of the profession. Third one is connectedness. It means the shared commitment and mutual understanding, which results in avoiding the egoism and paves the way for progress for both. So next question is, list the factors or principles to justify confidentiality. So this question may be asked for 5 marks or 10 marks, and one time it is repeated in the semester end exam. So there are certain factors or principles to justify the confidentiality. So they are, first one, respect for autonomy. So it means respecting the freedom and self-determination of individuals and organizations to identify their authentic control over the personal information of themselves. Second, respect for promises. It means giving respect for the promises made between employers and employees. Third one is trustworthiness. So, maintaining confidentiality by lawyers, judges, accountants, etc., are necessary to develop confidence and welfare of the individuals and organizations. So, right, that is why the lawyers or judges or accountants, they keep the data confidential. So, because you have to have a good trust on those people, right? So fourth one is respect for public welfare. So this is very important in identifying the relationship in professional transactions for the benefit of public welfare. So I given here simple example which illustrates respect for public welfare. So example, if the doctor keep confidentiality on the problems of patients, so patients develop confidence and trust in them. They feel free to reveal their problems and personal information without being shy. This increases their chances of being cured. The doctors will say that if you go to the hospital and if you have certain personal problems, so right, it is the duty of the patient to discuss freely with the doctors, right? Whatever the secret thing is there, or they may ask, right, what kind of habits you people have. They'll ask such questions. In such cases, suppose if you smoke, then it is your duty to instruct, or it is your duty to tell the doctor that I am going to smoke once in a day or twice in a day. So that you have to say everything, and even that it is the duty of the doctor to keep your personal information secret. You should not discuss with others here. So that is what respect for public welfare. Next question. Describe institutional authority with an example, or the question may be asked, briefly explain institutional authority. The question may be asked for 5 marks, and this question again it is repeated in the exam. So we will discuss what is institutional authority. So it is an authority executed within the organization. So every organization has got their own rules and regulation, and even they have got certain authorities here. So that is what institutional authority. So it is a right given to the employees to execute the power to complete the task and force them to achieve their goals. Duties such as resource allocation, policy execution, recommendations, supervision, and empowering. For example, the line managers and project managers have the institutional duty to make sure that the products or projects are completed successfully. The characteristic features of institutional authority are that they allocate money and other resources and have liberty in execution. So next question is, explain occupational crime with examples. Again, this is a 5 marks question. Again, this is important from the exam point of view because it is asked twice in the exam. So occupational crimes. So if any crime is done by the profession in an occupation, so it is what occupational crime. So therefore they are also called what, white collared crimes. So the occupational crime, it is committed by the following ways. So first one is wrong actions of a person through one's lawful employment. Second, crime by employee to promote one's own or employer's interest. Third one, theft or regular theft by the employee. Fourth one is damage to the property or to the other employee. So these are what? All these are what? They are occupational crime itself. So what examples, I have not mentioned here the examples, but some of the examples we can quote here, like mm, price fixing. So that is what, fixing the bidding rate of the companies in collision with other companies. So especially for the contract or services, so it is called what, price fixing. And second one is industrial espionage. So it means what, simply spying for personal or company benefits. And third example is bootlegging. So bootlegging in the sense, manufacturing, selling or transporting products which are prohibited by law. So they are called bootlegging. So it refers to working on projects which are prohibited or not properly authorized. For example, manufacturing, selling or transporting of drugs, it is what, it is illegal. So right, so that is what, bootlegging. So fourth one is endangering lives. So industries who expose their employees to hazards usually escape from penalties. So victims have the right to get the proper compensation, but they successful only to claim some monetary compensation. For example, even after 22 years since Bhopal gas tragedy, appropriate compensation has not been paid. Even the government could not bring to book the culprits for the crimes committed. So that is what endangering lives. So next question is explain collective bargaining with example. So again this is, it can be asked for 5 marks. Collective bargaining is inconsistent with loyalty to employers because it is against the desires of the employer. Second, it uses force against the employer. Third, it involves collective and organized opposition, but every instance of such conduct need not be unethical. For example, three engineers sincerely feel that they are underpaid. After their representations to their bosses are in vain, they threaten their employer politely that they would seek employment elsewhere. Here, even though they act against the desire of their employer and have acted collectively, they have not acted unethically or violated their duty. So, this example illustrates the collective bargaining. So next question is, what is meant by professional responsibility? Again, this is what, a 5 marks question. So engineers, in the fulfillment of their professional duties shall hold paramount the safety, health and welfare of the public. So perform services only in the areas of their competence. So issue public statements only in an objective and truthful manner. So during the engineering design process, the responsibilities of the engineer may include defining problems, conducting and narrowing research, analyzing criteria, finding and analyzing solutions, and making decisions. Much of an engineer's time is spent on researching, locating, applying, and transferring information. Thank you.